There are many items in Minecraft that are magical. Lapis Lazuli is used for enchanting. Ender pearls can teleport you. Golden apples give you multiple health effects. And usually, these items have one or very few uses. But there is one item that plays a crucial role in Minecraft's magical aspects and its lore. The Blaze Rod. It's dropped by the Blaze, a unique and peculiar mob with its own behaviors and backstory. This video, we will uncover the mysteries of the Blaze, as well as the significance of the Blaze Rod and what it means for Minecraft's lore, and we're starting right now. In 2011, blazes were added into Minecraft with the beta 1.9 pre-release, with the full release being in Minecraft 1.0. This update also included nether fortresses and potion brewing. Blazes only spawn around blaze spawners and nether fortresses. They have a floating head and are surrounded by revolving blaze rods. They can fly and shoot fireballs. It's important to mention that they shoot fireballs in waves. They cool themselves down and then they light up on fire and shoot fireballs. It's also worth mentioning that these fireballs are not explosive like the ghast fireballs. They sometimes drop blaze rods, which I will talk about in just a little bit. So what is a blaze? Is it a fire monster, demon, or spirit? A machine maybe? Let's examine it more closely. If we get to the basics, it's a floating head with floating rods revolving around it. There is something keeping these rods floating. We also know that it's hot and shoots fireballs. Maybe it's some kind of machine. But I don't think so, because machines don't magically appear out of nowhere, and they don't appear to have the complexity similar to a machine. Creepers might be machines with TNT inside them, but that's a whole other topic for another video. Get subscribed so you don't miss out. So I don't think it's a machine. Is it some kind of fire demon? Possibly, but it does exist within the material world, and you can pick up its blaze rods. There's another thing. It's hot. Hot enough to light on fire and shoot fireballs. So if it's hot, is it made of molten metal? That could be plausible. But I think that if we want to figure out what the blaze is made of, we should look to the blaze rod for answers. The blaze rod doesn't have a use in any weapons, and it doesn't have any uses in combat. It doesn't do much damage, and it doesn't set anything on fire. But it does have other uses that give us clues. The blaze rod is used in 4 crafting recipes: the end rod, the copper bulb, the brewing stand, and blaze powder. Blaze powder is the most significant, and I'll explain why. But let's look at the others first. The end rod and the copper bulb emit light. The copper bulb only emits light when powered by redstone, but the end rod doesn't seem to need power. Or maybe it gets power from the popped chorus fruit. Regardless, the blaze rod can be a light source. The other two that are significant are the brewing stand and blaze powder. These two are significant because they're vital for potion brewing. Brewing stands are made of blaze rods and cobblestone, and blaze powder is a required ingredient to power the brewing stand to make potions. Blaze powder serves as the power source for the brewing stand and eventually runs out as you brew potions. Blaze powder has other uses like crafting Eyes of Ender, when crafted with ender pearls, magma cream when crafted with slime balls, and fire charges when crafted with gunpowder and coal. These are all important in figuring out what the blaze is made of. They all give us some clues. It's likely not molten metal, since lava doesn't have any of these properties. Also, molten powder would melt and solidify, at least in real life. So blaze rods must be made of some other magical material in Minecraft. Well, we know that blaze rods can glow under the right conditions. Blazes are also hot and use fire for their attacks. So if it's hot, glows, and has magical properties, what is it made of? There is one clue that might tie this whole thing together, and that is potion brewing. All potions have various different ingredients. The basis for all potions is Awkward Potion, which is based on netherwort and has no effects. There are 2 ingredients, however, that I think point to what the blaze rod is made of: glowstone and redstone. I say this because glowstone is used to increase the effect of the potion, and redstone is used to increase the duration. But they both have properties that could be related to the blaze. Glowstone glows and is naturally generated in the nether in pockets on the roof. Redstone generates in the overworld and is used to make circuits. It's also used in several crafting recipes, but I think redstone and glowstone are used to make blaze rods. 1. Blazes have a sort of orangish hue, which could be mixed between the yellow of glowstone and the red of redstone. 2. Redstone is used to power glowstone in redstone lamps, and powers blaze rods and copper bulbs, not to mention all the crafting recipes in which it's used for things that need power. And 3. Redstone and glowstone are used to give opposite effects in potion brewing or cancel each other out. Maybe when brewing potions, there is a balance between potency and duration. Glowstone controls potency, and redstone controls duration. Adding either would shift the balance. There is even a label on the potion itself. If you add redstone to a water bottle, it becomes a mundane potion. If you add glowstone to a water bottle, it becomes a thick potion. So based on that, I think that blaze rods are tightly compacted glowstone and redstone dust mixed together. We do know that blazes get hot and shoot fireballs. Fire charges are flammable objects. I think the blaze powder is what ignites the coal and gunpowder in fire charges. Redstone can activate TNT, and glowstone is bright. I always wondered how redstone lamps can be switched off if glowstone is constantly on, but I now think that the glowstone might be powered by the redstone. If we take this knowledge and apply it to the blaze, then we know why it glows and becomes fiery. I'm not super sure about this though. After all, it's just an extrapolation. There is one other possible explanation for what the blaze could be made of: gold. I say this because the color of gold is similar to that of the blaze. In addition, gold is very common in the Nether, and it would be fairly easy to obtain. Also, hitting the blaze sounds like hitting metal. If the blaze is made of gold, then it might point to it being a machine, which, like I said before, doesn't seem likely to me. It could be made of gold along with redstone and glowstone, but we don't have proof of that. I don't think gold is a very likely explanation for what the blaze is made of, because it doesn't explain anything related to the potion brewing or the Eyes of Ender. Gold can't be made into blaze powder. I think blaze rods are more likely redstone and glowstone dust superheated together and compacted into a rod. Blaze powder is the blaze rod ground up and pulverized into powder. Again, I'm not sure of this. Let me know what you think blazes are made of in the comments. So now we might know what the blaze is made of, but we don't know who made it or why. All we know about their creators is that they had access to redstone and glowstone and built fortresses in the Nether. So why would anyone build fortresses in the Nether? I think the Nether fortress was once used to fight a war. Specifically, it was a war between the piglins of the Nether and the people of the overworld. Blazes have spawning chambers in Nether fortresses, and they seem to be there on purpose. But we also know that blazes attack players. So why would an ancient race at war create dangerous creatures that would kill them? Blazes don't attack piglins, so what gives? Do blazes have a vendetta against players? So many questions. But I think they all have one answer. The blazes are self-hating fire demons who hate the players that created them and are in constant pain. That sounds ridiculous, right? Well, here's why I think it's the case. The achievement players get when they kill a blaze and pick up its rod is Into Fire. The description of that achievement says, relieve a blaze of its rod. Relieve? That makes it sound like the blaze rod is a burden that the blaze has to bear. That sounds crazy, especially when the blaze is likely a creation of the ancient fighters in the Nether and likely with the intention of protecting the fortress. It makes sense that blazes attack players for subjecting them to this fate of suffering, and having to bear this blaze rod constantly floating around them and causing them pain and anguish. But I also don't believe that it was an accident. We know that the ancient people of the overworld eventually made it to the end, and they needed blaze powder to make Eyes of Ender to open up the portal. They also have brewing stands in locations like igloos. Blazes were useful to them because they provided valuable resources with their blaze rods. Blazes developed a hatred towards players and eventually used the power that they were given to rebel against players. They still do it to this day. This is why blazes attack players. They resent them for putting them through pain and anguish just to justify their means. Killing the blaze relieves it of its suffering. This is a lot to take in. There is one more thing that I want to touch on. Blaze powder and slime balls crafted together create magma cream. Well, magma cubes drop magma cream when they die. Slimes drop slime balls when they die. There is something about the magma cube that has to do with the blaze. If magma cubes are made of magma cream just like slimes are made of slime balls, then blaze powder must be directly involved in the creation of the magma cube. Magma cream is used to craft magma blocks, which create bubble columns in water that pull you down but let you breathe. Magma cubes spawn naturally in basalt deltas, but they also spawn in bastion remnants around spawners. I think bastion remnants used to be bastions for piglins in the war, hence the name Bastion Remnant. But I think that piglins may have found a way to harness the power of the blaze and use it to create magma cubes. They based it off of slimes found in the overworld. Also, an important consideration is that magma cream is the ingredient used for making a potion of fire resistance. This would have been vital for survival in the Nether during a war. This war is an interesting topic for another time, but it's important to all of Minecraft's lore. It's strange how a simple mob like the Blaze could be responsible for so many explanations about Minecraft lore. There's still more to uncover. We now have a solid theory that blazes were created to protect the Nether Fortress by ancient warriors in the Nether. The blazes could be made of compacted redstone and glowstone melted together. These materials ground up give us the basis for potion brewing as well as other magical items. They also give us the foundation for the magma cube. To summarize, blazes were created out of melted and compacted glowstone and redstone to protect the Nether Fortress. They are in constant pain and suffering and resent players for it. Their materials are used for various magical purposes including potion brewing, and they have many ties to other parts of Minecraft lore, like an alleged war in the Nether. This is an interesting theory, but I want to hear your thoughts. Do you have a different theory? Did I miss anything important? Please let me know what you think in the comments below. I really hope you enjoyed this theory video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!